So smugglers transporting, because Trump's administration gave ICE a quota of 1,800 arrests per day across U.S. And Rob, I don't know if you have the clip on that one. Is this the clip of that one?
No, I have that. Hang on one second. That's Stephen Miller. Right
if you can play that clip with the so these guys are sitting there giving quotas, just like anybody that's working a job, a sales job with a certain expectations. They're coming out saying, "Look, 1,800 a day." Okay, set the quota per immigration and customs. This is ICE, requiring a minimum of 75 arrests per day for each of these agencies' offices, 25 offices. So 75 arrests per day for the 25 offices. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller right here. Rob, if you want to play the clip about the quota.
Sources say that ICE has been directed to ramp up arrests to at least 75 per field office per day. If every field office hits that quota or that number, that goal, that would be 1,875 undocumented immigrants arrested every day. Now, the Washington Post reports that President Trump has been disappointed with the numbers so far. I don't know if that's true. You will tell me if it is. What is the priority, though, when it comes to these deportations? Is the initial goal, as we had been told by Trump allies after the election, to go after those first as a priority, to go after those who have committed violent crimes and are part of violent gangs? Or is it we're just going to go after anybody who is in this country illegally? We're not going to prioritize.
Well, yes, we are going to prioritize. So first of all, the numbers you cited are a floor, not a ceiling, very importantly. They're a floor. The goal is to arrest at least that many, but hopefully many more.
Yeah, so that's that part. And by the way, so far, according to this report, they're at 4,500 arrests since Trump's return to office. Okay, and that's why they're saying the numbers are now maybe where Trump wants it. I actually could believe the fact that Trump's not happy. He always wants more. That's what a driver's going to do. But then this goes with the story right next to it with smugglers transporting van packed with 26 Chinese migrants detained in Florida. Rob, if you have the clip on this one, is this the one, Rob?
So there's two instances. One happened yesterday where they caught 40 migrants, and then 9 days prior in the same town, they found 26 Chinese migrants. This is the overhead helicopter news coverage of them busting the 40 in the van yesterday.
Go for it. Go ahead.
Very heavy police presence in Coral Gables. Specifically, we are looking at Old Cutler Road and Kendall Drive.
Let's get right to 7 Stephen J. Gray above and 7 Skyforce, but what we know so far. Stephen.
Good morning, Tavares. Good morning, Olivia. Yeah, we've got a report of up to 40 migrants in 2 separate vans here. This is Old Cutler Road northbound here near Kendall Drive. We've got Coral Gables police on scene, and we're getting word that possibly 40 Chinese migrants have pretty much been pulled over in these vans. You can see through the trees here that the migrants are sitting down. Everything's pretty much under control. Everybody's being good, but once again, the 40 folks in 2 separate vans. Those vans must have been jam-packed right here in Coral Gables. I'm sure they're going to wait for a bigger vehicle to transport the migrants to wherever they've got to take
right there. So here's it says similar to Chinese citizens found on a Toyota and a U-Haul truck after an abduction report. Coral Gables Police Chief Edward James Hudak revealed that the vehicles contained 16 Chinese females, 15 Chinese males, one male from Cuba, one female from Ecuador. So that's these 2 instances that they had. Rob, is this a different clip of a different instance?
So this is the very first instance, which happened about 12 days ago, and this is in Coral Gables. This is the story that you just read, the 26 that they
Go
captured.
for it.
Wild scene in Coral Gables. More than 20 migrants, mostly from China, part of a suspected smuggling operation, treated inside a city trolley after arriving by boat.
We're hearing that this all started back there by Snapper Creek with a possible abduction, and Coral Gables police came rushing this way.
Sources say it all unfolded when they were dropped off by a vessel Friday morning along the Snapper Creek Canal and put into vehicles. An alert resident calls police.
A very alert security professional from one of our homeowners associations observed an abduction in progress. She notified one of our patrolling officers about what she had observed.
And these are the moments an officer drives up on them. Most migrants crammed in this U-Haul van, 3 inside the small Toyota in front of it.
The officers removed or opened the back of the truck, which revealed 21 predominantly.
Right, Byron, thoughts on this?
First thought is, this is why in Congress we have to get President Trump's agenda through as quickly as we can. And I know part of the national conversation about what we're doing is been around one big, beautiful bill or two bills. And I think the president at this point is like, it could be one bill, it could be two bill. I don't care. Let's get it done. The number one thing that Tom Homan and Kristi Noem need are dollars from Congress to provide bed space and other officers and additional resources so that this process can actually function. What Stephen Miller's talking about the floor, yeah, that's correct. But the logjam is going to be they don't have the resources right now under federal appropriations to meet the floor. We have sheriff departments in Florida and around the country. Their local jails are now filling up, in part because of the 287G program that helps the repatriation process. So on Capitol Hill, we just left our retreat, and my comment to the speaker and to the other members is we have to do two reconciliation bills. We cannot do one big bill because it's going to take us too much time to get that done. And Tom Homan and those guys need the resources ASAP in order to have this be an orderly and smooth process that doesn't get log jammed or doesn't get backlogged, which will just backspill into sheriff departments, etc. So what's happening here about how so many migrants are coming in jammed into trucks, vans, and etc. That's been going on for 4 years. This has been the quiet secret that the Biden administration hid from the American people. I don't know if you guys remember, this is like probably the last time Joe Biden spoke at a press conference. This was like 4 years ago. And I'm serious. And he said something like, give us some time so we can clean up the mess. And then once we get it cleaned up, we'll let you come in and see it. Sure. They never let the press come in to see it. And the part of the reason was because when you come across the border illegally, what happens is you have traffickers in our side of the border who are moving people through vans, tractor trailers, whatever. There was a story a few years ago about 40 to 60 people died in the back of a tractor trailer from heat exhaustion down in the Houston area because Houston has become the human trafficking capital of the United States because they come through the border, they get to Houston, which is the closest major city, and then from Houston, they're basically dispersed all over the country. The Biden administration was doing all that. So that's why I'm saying our business on Capitol Hill, we have to get Tom Homan the money he needs. It's about $100 billion to them ASAP. Because if we don't, it's going to slow down this whole process. And we're not going to be delivering on what President Trump has said, and I believe what he says because I've seen it on the ground, the number one issue in the country that the voters want changed. They want the border secured. They want people sent back to their home, to their countries where they came from. And it's not just people, it's just not abuela. It's 184 countries from around the world. I was with a Haitian group on Saturday, and they were concerned about Haiti in particular. And I said, if we're going to be honest, what's going on with Haiti is a different situation than China because Haiti is run by a guy named Barbecue. Their government has completely fallen apart. That's what asylum is supposed to be about. But Joe Biden and Kamala Harris blew open illegal immigration so bad that the country has no ability to even take in Haitian migrants who are fleeing legitimate persecution because their government fell apart in Haiti. So to bring it back to center, we have to deliver in Congress. And my view to the speaker and to the leadership is you got to do two bills because you got to deliver the money quickly to President Trump and to Tom Homan and Kristi Noem so they can get the job done that the American people want to see done. And we can still do tax policy. Nothing's going to stop us from doing that. We can get tax policy done. We can get energy policy changed. But we got to deliver the border money immediately. And legitimately what I think we can do is you do border, you raise the debt ceiling, and you do defense money. And the reason why you raise the debt ceiling is because there's only really two ways to raise it. You can do it in budget reconciliation, where you don't need Democrat Senate votes to do it, or you do it with Democrat senators. And if you do that deal with Democrat senators, they're going to demand a price for raising the debt ceiling from us, which is actually setting us back from the agenda that the American people voted for in November. So to my colleagues on Capitol Hill, they're going to hear me now. Do two bills. Do border, debt ceiling, and defense money in the first bill. Let's get that to the president's desk. We can get that to his desk probably by President's Day. I think the really cool thing is if the president signed the bill at the State of the Union on March 4. Now you talk about imagery. Shoot, we're making America safe right now.
Boom.
Boom.
Just like you signed the executive order.
Just like you signed the executive.
But
boom.
Can I say why you're saying it's so important?
Right.
And why I think the American people are behind it. But I'm going to give it not so much a political, diplomatic twist. I'm going to give from a guy who's born and raised in Miami twist. Okay? 30 Chinese migrants just roaming around Miami. That literally doesn't happen.
Yeah.
We don't have Chinese people here in Miami. Like, I have literally hundreds, if not thousands, of Cuban, Haitian, Mexican, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Argentinian, Brazilian friends. The list goes on. Bolivian, Uruguay, Paraguay. Dude, I have like 2 Asian friends. Straight up. We don't have Asians here, much less Chinese migrants. So, do you know how quickly these guys were cited? What are 30 random Chinese people doing on the street? Like,
yeah, are they sick?
Like,
are they bringing anything here?
Like,
any questions?
You just don't see it.
Do you know how much they get paid?
You see it in California, of course, or you see it in Houston, of course. You don't see it here. So it's the most obvious thing. So what am I saying here? So they're just people are just showing up left and right in this country. This open border policy, and I fully agree with you what you're talking about in Haiti and Cuba and the political persecution. But the worst thing is going to happen is so these are Chinese migrants, whatever. What happens if they were from whatever terrorist country that wants to do very bad things to America?
They're already here.
That's my point.
How
are we going to
here.
find those people? Because this is great.
Yes.
We found these Chinese migrants. Whatever they're doing. How are we going to find those people?
And that's why we got to speed this whole process up. I'm going to dovetail quickly because it's happening in the state right now. It's like most people don't know it's happening, but it's happening. The legislature and the governor are having a fight right now over the Florida immigration bill. My hope is that they resolve this quickly. The one aspect of the bill, and this is where the governor is, in my view, correct, is that the police powers around the immigration czar, if you will, have to reside with the governor. Because the governor has police powers, not just in Florida, but in every state. So to change that, to me, is not the appropriate use. But that being said, the reason they need to resolve their dispute quickly is because they have to be working seamlessly with the federal government in order to make this process work. Because we know New York, they're trying to fight it. Illinois is trying to fight it. Massachusetts is trying to fight it. California is trying to fight it. Their people don't want that. It's their crazy politicians in their state capitals that want it. So we got to get the business done in D.C. immediately. Because the longer this thing goes, if we don't get it resolved, you're going to start seeing more and more stories of we're running out of space. Look at all these people in these tight quarters, etc. And that's what the liberal, crazy media is just waiting for. So we got to be disciplined. We got to be about business. Get that done. Get the president what he needs. He'll get a huge victory. The American people will see. They didn't just campaign on it. They were serious about it, and they got it done. And that's what the country needs.
Well, overnight, there was a story about Gitmo and potentially being used because it'll hold up the 30,000 of the criminal element, the absolute bona fide criminal element among the illegal aliens, with the president overnight saying, I kind of like to use Gitmo. That'll take some stress off
Guantanamo Bay, just for people that don't know the acronym. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Wikipedia. And use that because these people are criminals and they should be in a jail. And I guess the president said, and the last time I checked, Gitmo's hard to get out of, so maybe that's a good place for the criminal element that is illegal aliens and to save the space while we're moving the rest of the folks.
Yeah. But even in Gitmo, there's 30,000 beds? Mm-hmm. Joe Biden let in 10 to 15 million people. So this is what I'm saying. You have a logistical system that Tom Homan is having to stand up overnight because the Biden team was not helping us do anything until they were officially out the door. So the logistics of this at scale to deal with 10 to 15 million illegals over the last 4 years, not to mention the people who were here illegally before that time. And then that doesn't take into account the gotaways. And by the way, you talked about China. The Chinese migrants, the reason why they show up here is because they'll pay the coyotes and the cartels anywhere from, the last number I heard was 10 to 60,000.
Yeah, they're willing to pay
ahead to come into the United States.
Mm-hmm.
$10,000 to $60,000 per person to come into the United States. This is big business for the cartels and for the coyotes. And that is why what Joe Biden did was complicit. They were complicit in allowing this. They empowered the cartels. They empowered the coyotes. And it has been the great humanitarian disaster of our time.
For sure.
And if a Republican allowed that, the big media would have crucified them.
I'm just wondering if Selena Gomez is going to cry when they start exporting Chinese migrants out of there over. It's only specifically
just to give you some
illegals.
numbers, when you go to vtnews.ai, first 100 days, if you can go to first 100 days. By the way, I think we have 89 days left. Can we just do this question real quick here together? I'm going to vote for mine as well because I think I'm up to date. And my ranking, man, I am way behind with everybody. But what is today's question, Rob? The prediction today?
Will Trump make an in-person appearance at the Super Bowl?
I'll give mine. If Trump's, I'm going to say my answer is a in-person. It's saying.
Yes, he's showing up.
I say yes.
Me too.
Is what I'm saying.
Especially with Chiefs and Mahomes.
And that's for 590 points. Gang, go to vtnews.ai and post your prediction. Here's what we're going to be doing, just so everybody knows, okay? We decided to run a contest behind this, and this will go for the first 100 days. So for the winner at the end, when you win, the end of a PBD podcast, you'll join us for 10, 15 minutes to tell us how you made all these predictions correctly, okay? And the competitors in the top 10 cannot be Valuetainment or Lion Holding employees, okay? If they are, and a lot of them are participating, they're not going to be able to compete in this. It's anybody that's not part of the company that'll compete for this. So if you win, you're the top Nostradamus, you'll be invited to come on the show with us and tell us how you were able to make these predictions. What do you have access to that we don't have? What did you use? Did you use ChatGPT or maybe DeepSeek? What were you using? And then the top 10 predictors with active subscriptions to vtnews.ai, you will be invited on your own. Find a way to come down here. We'll pick a date. You'll come out with the launch of our cigar lounge that we're doing in our comedy club. You'll be invited. We'll go to the back of the VIP cigar lounge. We'll have a cigar together. We'll spend 2-3 hours together. The whole crew will be there. Conversations, talking, having a good time, having a drink at the new boardroom cigar lounge that we're launching that will be ready, and you will be invited to be a part of that. So, again, go compete. There's still 89 days left on this, and there's going to be some accelerator points. So some of the questions will be 5,000 points, 1,000 points, 2,000 points. Put it in your calendar. Every day, 9 a.m., a new predictions being posted. So go to vtnews.ai, first 100 days, claim your predictions, subscribe to the membership. Either one of the subscriptions that we have that's paid, you'll be able to participate in this contest that we're running. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.